She thought this was going to be the most romantic morning of her life, but instead of coffee in bed, she got a bullet to the head of her husband, handcuffed to a corpse. No phone, no keys, in a house she can't escape from. And the worst part, she doesn't even know yet that killers hired by her dead husband are already pulling up to the house. Emma is unhappy in her marriage to her cold and controlling husband Mark, a criminal defense attorney. Things get even worse when Mark takes on the case of Bobby Ray, the guy who once attacked Emma and stabbed her with a knife. On top of all her problems, she starts an affair with a man named Tom, who works at her husband's firm. But she quickly realizes it was a mistake and ends things with him in tears because her wedding anniversary with Mark is just days away. On this beautiful day, Mark surprises Emma with an unusual steel necklace, and after dinner, he tells her he has one more surprise. Emma finds a blindfold in her pocket, and they head to the secluded lake house they used to visit early in their relationship. Upon arrival, Emma removes the blindfold and notices a note with their wedding vows on the table, then follows clues Mark left throughout the house. Eventually, she finds her husband on the second floor. He apologizes for not being a good husband, and for a moment, Emma believes his words are sincere, leading them to fall onto the bed. The next morning, Emma wakes up and discovers she's handcuffed to her husband, and he shoots himself in the head without another word. Panic sets in. She pushes him away and falls off the bed with him, but after a while, she accepts reality and calms down. She starts thinking of a plan to escape, beginning with the landline phone, which, of course, doesn't work. She grabs the gun and tries to shoot the chain off the handcuffs, but there are no bullets left in the chamber, so she just tosses it aside. Then she drags the body to the closet. Emma sees that only her wedding dress remains there, and behind it is a safe. She places Mark's body on the dress and drags him downstairs, tumbling down the stairs and miraculously not breaking every bone in her body. Emma discovers that Mark destroyed her cell phone. He also removed every sharp object from the house. Finally, she checks the trash and finds the car keys. The car is in the garage. Wearing Mark's clothes, Emma heads to the garage. When she starts the car, the radio plays a mocking message from Mark, revealing he knew about her affair with Tom. That's why he shot himself, unable to live with the humiliation. Then the car stalls because Mark had drained all the fuel. With no other choice, she heads back into the house. There, Emma washes up and goes down to the basement, hoping to find tools. Of course, there are none, and at some point, her nerves finally break. She accuses Mark of hypocrisy, since he was the one who cheated on her first. In one of the rooms, she finds photos of herself with Tom, an old photo from after the attack, and even a picture of the attacker himself. She turns on the player, and it plays a recording of Emma's interrogation about those horrific events, the night the criminal named Bobby Ray attacked her and stabbed her with a knife, but she managed to stab him in the eye with her keys and save her own life. Suddenly, she hears a car pulling up outside and someone approaching the door. It turns out to be Tom, who says he got a message from her asking for help. Emma opens the door and explains what happened. Tom tells her that the night before, the prosecution filed charges against Mark for falsifying cases, so he knew his career was over. Emma begs Tom to call the police, but he says the whole situation looks way too suspicious. He believes her, of course, but as a lawyer, he knows the cops might not buy it, especially after she washed the blood off her face. Emma insists he call the police anyway. As Tom heads outside to grab his phone from the car, he spots an approaching vehicle. He tells Emma to hide and goes out to meet them. A truck pulls up. A man named Jimmy approaches and says he's there to fix a broken pipe. Tom politely explains it's not a good time and even offers him money to leave. But then another man steps out of the truck. He walks up to Tom and instantly stabs him multiple times. They burst into the house, and Emma recognizes one of them as Bobby Ray, the same criminal who attacked her and served 10 years in prison. Jimmy, his younger brother, is upset by Bobby's actions and begs him to leave. But Bobby reminds him they need to find the girl first. Bobby heads upstairs and finds the safe. Meanwhile, Emma manages to slip outside and reach the shed, but Jimmy spots the blood trail and follows her. She finds an anchor and tries to use it to free herself from Mark's arm, but right then Jimmy enters the shed. Emma has to hide in the boat. He looks around, sees the man's body, freaks out, and runs back to the house for his brother. But before they return, Emma frees herself from Mark's body and hides. Lying there, she overhears Bobby telling his brother that Mark hired him. He says they absolutely have to find the girl to get the safe's code. Bobby notices the bloody trail and realizes Emma is barefoot, so she can't have gone far. They head back inside, and Jimmy explains that opening the safe requires not just the code, but also a fingerprint, so Jimmy goes back to the shed for Mark's body. At that moment, Emma drags a fuel can she found in the boat, and somehow the guy doesn't spot her. She makes it to the garage and starts refueling the car, but Bobby shows up and slashes all the tires. Emma has to run to the basement. She's trapped on the stairs, Bobby's already down there, and Jimmy's right at the door. As they close in, Emma remotely sets off the car alarm, distracting them. The brothers start arguing. Bobby convinces Jimmy they have to finish the job. While he was in prison, they lost their house. They resume the search, and Emma says goodbye to Tom. Then she takes his coat and boots. Emma sneaks up to the attic and lures the men there. She knocks Bobby out with a golf club. When Jimmy runs in and finds his brother, she hits him too and locks them in the room. She tries to escape in Tom's car, but Bobby catches up and pulls her out. Emma manages to dial 911 before Bobby snatches the phone and knocks her out. Later, she wakes up in the bedroom, handcuffed to Mark's body again. She tells them she doesn't know the combination, but Bobby pins her down and says the code is the date Mark proposed to her. She still refuses to cooperate, knowing they won't let her go anyway. Bobby starts hurting her, but the more reasonable Jimmy tries to stop him. He points Mark's gun, found under the bed, at his brother. After Jimmy calms everyone down, Emma agrees to give the date, but only if they uncuff her from the body first. They remove the handcuffs and she tells them the code. Bobby opens the safe and finds only a hacksaw with an inscription. The note says the diamonds are in Emma's necklace, the one that can't be removed. They all realize Mark set this up on purpose, knowing they'd have to cut off her head. Jimmy tries to remove the necklace, but Bobby loses patience and prepares to decapitate her. Bobby takes the gun and knocks out his brother, then tries to shoot Emma, but the gun is empty. So he grabs the knife. Jimmy tries to stop him, and in the struggle, Bobby accidentally kills his younger brother. Enraged, he attacks Emma. A fight breaks out, but she dodges, grabs a tool, and hits him in the head, knocking him out. She handcuffs the criminal to Mark's body and runs. She gets back to the car and manages to start it on the fuel she poured earlier. Just then, Bobby comes after her. Emma hits him with the car, but loses control and crashes into the shed. She climbs out and heads to the lake. Bobby catches up, still dragging Mark's body behind him. Emma stabs him in the shoulder, and right then the ice breaks. Mark's body falls into the lake, pulling Bobby in after it. He grabs Emma and drags her down too. Underwater, she pulls the knife from his shoulder and stabs him in the eye. Bobby lets go and sinks to the bottom. At the last second, Emma breaks through the ice and climbs out. She removes her wedding ring and throws it into the water. In the distance, she hears police sirens. And that's how the movie ends.